First of all, you guys are killing me with the pastries. Everyone looks so good, and Queenie-Mons are my absolute favorite. So I'm very, very jealous of you both right now.
But you are a Patriots fan.
No. Pastries.
Oh, pastries!
I
thought he segued.
Wait.
I was waiting for that. Got it.
That's the best joke of the week that just happened.
That's just where my head's at. No problem. Yeah, we'll send you some. Danny's really good at this stuff. We're going to get your information and send you cases of
guys, hold on to your question. You promise?
Yes. He won't forget.
You got to hear this story because you just gave me with the pastry and Patriots.
Go.
I will never forget. One day I get a very, very angry call. This was a long time ago when everybody got their restaurant recommendations from the Red Zagat survey.
Yes, I remember.
And this guy calls me on the phone. He says, "I am so angry, I can't even tell you." And I said, "What happened?" He said, "I traveled 2 hours to get to Gramercy Tavern because in the back of the book, in the back of the Zagat survey, there's a category that says game in season, and you're in it. And I got there and there was no TV. I wanted to watch the Bears."
That's amazing. Right. You're like, you didn't want some pheasant?
No, I mean...
Wasn't that, huh? Love it. That's pretty fucking awesome. The Bears and Jets play this year in Chicago. Early prediction, 19 Jets, 13 Bears. Just document it. Without free agency completed and preseason, I'm feeling confident.
All right, back to the question.
Sorry, go ahead.
Totally. So this is actually a great piggyback off of the previous question about social media. I've worked at a lot of places that do experience-focused dining, tasting menus, Michelin restaurants. What is the best way to leverage either social media or voice or the internet for that style of restaurant? Like the restaurant that's already killing it with their steak, but they could really take it to the next level with some marketing sizzle. And more importantly, who should be doing the posting? I know a lot of restaurants don't have quote-unquote social media managers.
Yeah, I'll jump in here. So you are of the mindset that you've worked at or currently work in organizations that are delivering on the quality, and I understand the framework of the restaurant, but haven't accelerated its growth because it's either not getting the proper respect in the marketplace, PR or natural word of mouth, and you're looking for an angle in marketing to bring a little bit more awareness because you believe once you can bring those people in, the acceleration will happen as long as people can taste that steak. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. And, making sure that the Tuesday reservations are just as booked as the Friday, Saturday reservations.
What town are you in? Because that's a variable.
So I'm in Seattle right now, but my previous job was in Europe and Norway, and I actually, I created the Snapchat account for that restaurant. And I was a super big push on social media, but it was hard to convince those people because it's well, who does the posting? How do you word that?
What's
might help.
What's really fascinating is I don't think people know this, but Norway is Snapchat's most interesting market globally. It is their deepest penetration of any market. Is that why you did Snapchat? Because it was just very obvious to you? The 35 to 50-year-old crowd on Snapchat in Norway is actually very high. Is that what you saw as well?
Well, kind of. This was back when you were very bullish on Snapchat.
So you were like, Gary says do it, so I'll do it.
Do you remember the time you collared me on Snapchat down at South by Southwest?
That was the best. So look, listen, it's this, I think what you're talking about is an institution that looks down on modern communication, right? Your issue was it's this new thing, and what really happened in your scenario that you're painting is that there's a level of disrespect of the quality of that attention, because I promise you, if the owners of any establishment thought of it the way I thought of it, they wouldn't get hung up on who's posting. If you actually think it's going to impact your business, if that's what your objective is, well then all of a sudden you're going to allocate the resources. Let me tell you one thing about restaurants and any other business. Follow the money. I love when people talk to me, like business owners or entrepreneurs, and they talk about things, but then when you look at their actions based on their financial allocations, they are talking a very different game. So you can be bullish all you want about social media, but if you're allocating 8% of your budget to it, then you don't really think it's that serious. You want to not look stupid in society when it's finally been accepted, but you don't believe that it's driving your business. To answer your question directly, it's all storytelling. If you want to tell people about your oxtail soup, you've got to tell them about your oxtail soup. 40 years ago, that was whatever book or one or two critics in the neighborhood. Then it was the Times. Then it was Michelin. Then it was Zagat. Then it was Google. Now it's social. Tomorrow it will be Alexa. Hey Alexa, what's the best? Hey Alexa, what's the best oxtail soup? Stick with me here right now.
Sorry, I don't know that.
Good. Hey Alexa, what's the best spaghetti in New York City?
I don't know, but I'm always learning.
So what's interesting is you see those two examples. What excites me is I'm going to make a video in 24 months that I'm going to ask those same two questions, and it's going to answer, and it's going to answer it really interestingly and really well, or subjective, or we'll see. But the fact that we're here now, hey Alexa, what's the best restaurant in New York City?
Here are a few top-rated restaurants in New York City.
Right? So this is going off of Yelp, right? And it's super arbitrary. What's going to happen now is that
Hey Alexa, you need to eat out more often.
So what I would say is whatever is the technology of the time, what's exciting for me is, you know, I look through things through other people's eyes. I can see from the corner of my eye Danny now taking his fourth look at the Alexa. He's a competitive ninja, that sweet assassin for me. So he now already is he's smart. He understands he understands human behavior, which is why he's been so remarkable at his craft, which is why technology, though not where he spends all his time, though maybe even he may sit on the sidelines on something like a podcast or Twitter, when described properly at a higher level, he will always understand it, which is why I'm always enjoying getting to interact with him about it, because I know he'll understand. I know that he just understood when he looked at that. He knows exactly what Google meant to open table. He understands what I just did with Alexa really fucking matters. It really does. And so now what happens is, who has the leverage, right? In this scenario, Amazon has the leverage, right? It's not that Danny's firm wants to spend all this marketing money to be a paid endorsement. He wants to win on his own merit. He's got the benefit of a long, extremely well executed branding play that has happened, but he's never gonna rest on that laurel. For 99% of the restaurateurs, they don't wanna be at the mercy of Alexa. That's just a Zagat 20 years later. That's just the New York Times 20 years later, 30 years later. So, Alexa, stop. So my friend, here's what I would say. I think the way to not be at the mercy of a third party is to be a tremendous communicator at scale that is current to the end consumer. For you to do what you want to do well, you need to have a podcast and a blog post and an Instagram account and Facebook and a Twitter and a YouTube vlog and all of the above. Can you afford? These are questions everybody has to ask. But if you ask me, there's nothing more important than having the ability to communicate with the end consumer, because it keeps you from being vulnerable from the technology revolution that is absolutely happening. And there's only two executions: produce the greatest fucking product, aka the man who's sitting across from me and his organization, or be the best communicator in the current moment.
Or both.
Listen, that's when you get, that's what I'm trying to be up to. Like that to me is how you end up. And by the way, this is history. Back to Muhammad Ali. If you think Muhammad Ali's picture of punching all 5 Beatles was not manipulated by 2 different groups that understood how media played at the time, Muhammad Ali's ability to navigate through the media landscape of the 60s and 70s is more impressive than what he did in the boxing ring. The way he played with Howard Cosell, the way he played with radio and television, the way he took photos when he had to, from the beginning, the way he said he was the greatest after he won 1 fight, the way he predicted, everything he did. We don't remember the 31 fights where his prediction was way off. We just remember the 6 or 7 that he nailed. And so these are very important times, because the communication landscape is changing the most since it has, from the transition of radio to television, and the opportunity for all of us, including restaurants, has never been greater.
I want to just add one thing
Please.
to what you just said, which is that when you showed me Snapchat,
Yes.
it just didn't register. My kids use it, you
Yes.
use it, and I
Yes.
said, you better listen. I said that to myself.
Yes.
And I said, I can't speak in that accent. And
Yes.
then I got a great gift from somebody, which is this, that even if you accept the power of social media and telling your own stories and using it to listen and to have dialogues with people, which is great, not all of us are going to speak as beautifully in every single
100%
language that there is out
100%.
there. And I've come to the conclusion that I'm really comfortable with Twitter and Instagram.
Yep.
And that may be enough for me, as long as I surround myself with others who are,
As long as you don't
who are
get caught.
expert.
The only thing I would say, Dan, and you're exactly right, as long as you don't get caught only speaking Yiddish.
Oy.
That's the point, right? What I've seen is people get very comfortable in their language. to not recognize that that language is becoming obsolete and or has diminished.
Which of the two of my native social languages are about to be obsolete?
I think both are fine, you know, but to me, Instagram is just like cost of entry in today's moment, especially in your industry. Twitter's incredibly great for you and me because we really love to counterpunch. Like, I love complaints.